In this video, we'll take a look at external facades. The learning content, the curtain wall tool, curtain grids and mullions, and embedding curtain walls. To create a facade in Revit, we can use the curtain wall tool. We can access this by starting the wall command as usual. From the type selector, you can find curtain walls towards the bottom of the list. Choosing your curtain wall type, first we'll inspect the type properties. A curtain wall is based on a grid system. We have a vertical grid and a horizontal grid. We can control how this grid is created. We can also choose whether a curtain wall will automatically embed inside a traditional wall. To draw the curtain wall, simply left click to start and left click to choose an endpoint. Like with a traditional wall, should you draw it with the wrong orientation, you can use the flip arrows in the center to flip the wall. Viewing the wall in an elevation view, we can see that based on the grid settings, Revit's automatically created the panels and any grid lines. We can select the curtain grid lines. You may need to use the tab key to cycle through elements near the mouse cursor before the grid line highlights. With the grid selected, should it be automatically generated by Revit, it will be pinned into place. Clicking on the drawing pin icon on the view or using the unpin tool on the modify tab, you can unpin the grid line so it can be modified. To remove a grid line, we can use the add remove segments tool on the modify tab. And by selecting the segments of the grid line, we can remove it. Once you delete the last segment, Revit will delete the grid line. We can also replace the panels. Again, cycling through what's near the mouse cursor, we can select the panel. Ensuring the panel is unpinned, go into the type selector in the properties window, we can change the type of panel. We'll again create another curtain wall. This time we will embed it inside a traditional wall. Choosing a plain curtain wall type, I'm going to check that automatically embed is enabled. Inside the existing traditional wall, I'm going to choose a start point and an end point. Again, if I need to flip the orientation of the wall, I can use the flip arrows or the space bar. On this curtain wall, we're going to create a custom curtain grid. On the Architecture tab, Build Group, I'm going to select the Curtain Grid tool. We have 3 placement methods: all segments, one segment, and all except picked. Using all segments, I can place horizontal grid lines by moving my mouse cursor along the left or right hand side of the curtain grid. Or vertical lines by moving my mouse cursor across the top or bottom of the curtain wall. By adding an align dimension, and selecting the grid lines, I can customize the spacing. Alternatively, I could equalize the dimension and evenly space out the grid lines. Again, in the curtain grid tool, from the placement tools, if I select one segment, this will allow me to place a grid line inside a single segment. To add mullion to the curtain wall, I can use the mullion tool. Again, choosing the type of mullion I wish to use. On the Modify tab, I again can choose the placement method. With grid line selected, I can click on a grid line and it will place the mullion the full length of the grid line. By selecting grid line segment, I can click on an individual segment of a grid line and it will only place it on that segment. And using all grid lines, I can place mullion on all the grid lines.